Hello and welcome to Gravitas Ukraine Direct. I'm Palki Sharma reporting live from Kyiv, a city waiting for the storm. We landed here on Friday to an atmosphere of fatalistic calm. 5 days on, things are changing, and they're changing rapidly. The mood appears to be more grim. The American president has issued a statement. He says all US citizens who are not diplomats would be wise to leave Ukraine at the earliest. A warning that was long overdue, some would say. 186 miles from where I'm standing, Russia's military buildup is gaining strength. There are more troops, more missile systems, and more ultimatums. The situation is floating between diplomacy and war. 2 high-level talks have concluded, but they've not achieved anything to dial down tensions. All of these developments are being followed by the people of Ukraine, of course, very closely. They've certainly not produced a sense of panic here among the people, because years of living in a state of uncertainty has left them hardened. They're going about their daily lives. The question is, what will they do if war does indeed break out? Where will they seek cover? Well, there's an entire network of bunkers on the city's map. Bomb shelters that were abandoned decades ago, they're now being refurbished. Will these shelters survive modern warfare? We decided to find out. Earlier today, I visited a bomb shelter in central Kyiv. This is what I saw. This is Ukraine, the site of Europe's biggest military buildup since the Second World War. The country is surrounded by Russian troops, both on land and in the Black Sea. The Americans say Russia has completed 70% troop deployment for a full-scale invasion. A former defense minister of Ukraine says Russia has enough troops in place to take Kyiv. The capital of Ukraine is within striking distance of Russian soldiers stationed in Belarus. Su-35 fighter jets, S-400 missile defense systems, and thousands of Russian troops are on standby here, ready to strike when Moscow orders and hit the Ukrainian capital within minutes. How will Kyiv defend itself from Russian bombs? By preparing bomb shelters. Not 1 or 2, but thousands of them. We are in downtown Kyiv, and this is a city of bomb shelters. A lot of these are Soviet-era relics from the time when Soviet and American nuclear weapons were trained at each other. A lot of these bomb shelters were built. Many of them have been upgraded. In fact, only last month, the Kyiv City Council issued an interactive map that shows how many shelters there are, and it guides the citizens of Kyiv to the nearest bomb shelter in the event of an invasion. Let me show it to you on the map. This is what it looks like. This is the city of Kyiv, and all these colorful dots that you see, these are bomb shelters with the varying degrees of preparedness and various levels of facilities that they offer. Let's zoom in. More than 500 of them spread across the city. This is how well the city of Kyiv is prepared. We set out to inspect one such bomb shelter. This is 83 MEZHYHIRSKA Street. The Kyiv City Council is sprucing up a bomb shelter here from the 1950s. This is now critical security infrastructure for the government of Ukraine. The official in charge takes us down a flight of stairs. A door similar to the kind you'll find on submarines greets us. Behind it lies the bunker, a bit like a cave with machines. The ceiling is low, it's dank and musty, but stocked with everything you would need in an emergency. Batteries for power, running water, telephones and sewage lines, chairs, beds, bathrooms. Inside one of the chambers is a massive piece of equipment, ready to pump oxygen if needed. In the event of an attack, as you can see, there are these pipes, and this is equipped with the oxygen supply, and this is one such supply chamber. If you go in, you see the pipes. This is well built, and they switch on these knobs here for oxygen to be supplied for the people who are inside this shelter in the event of a nuclear attack. Why does this bunker need oxygen? The answer lies on the walls. There are instructions everywhere, a survival guide for war. These bunkers are designed to protect against bombs of all kinds, biological, chemical, and nuclear weapons. There are a lot of posters on the walls. These are all from the 80s. This one shows what needs to be done in the event of a nuclear attack. You see clear diagrams. This is written in Russian, but it gives a detailed description of what are the steps to be followed in the event of a nuclear attack, and there are lots of such informative posters on the walls here. In the event of a chemical or a nuclear attack, they have a special stockpile of gear here, and they gave us access to one such box. Let me show you what it has. Here you go. It has these special masks. I've got one of them out, and this has gas supply, I believe. I'll try and wear it and show you how this works. And this is how it's going to look. I'm not going to keep it on for very long because it's very uncomfortable. But I'll just show you how it works. So I wear this mask, and then I have this device which is supposed to help me figure out how much radiation there is. So one person from this bomb shelter goes up wearing this mask, and you go up and you switch this thing on, and this is going to detect the radiation or chemical levels in the atmosphere to determine how safe it is for others to step out. These shelters will be key to Kyiv's survival in the event of an attack. The government has posted an interactive map online with 5,000 official locations where residents can hide. More than 500 of these are from the Cold War era with built-in facilities where you can survive for days on end. The remaining 4,500 shelters include basements, underground parking lots, and passageways, also Kyiv's 47 metro stations. In case of an attack, an alarm will be sounded across the city. Sound signals like sirens and beeps will be transmitted, a message would be played out with instructions, and that's the time when Ukrainians must head to the bomb shelters. This one can house at least 150 people, we are told.
This bomb shelter was built in the 1950s, and it can accommodate at least 150 people.
This shelter, we're told, was built in the 1950s, and you see a lot of those old documents here. This is all in Russian or Ukrainian, and it's hard to tell what it says, but we're told that this is all the details that they have, all of these files that you see. Then you have a first aid box. I'm not sure I can open it. It has some very basic medicines, clearly not enough for 150 people, as the caretakers of the shelter say that this place can accommodate. This is old. You have a radio here. It was built in the 1950s, and I want to show you something very interesting that I just came across. Very old phones. The line is dead. This one's not working either, but interesting, relics of the past. And some numbers, I believe these are emergency numbers. So they have everything in place in case of an emergency. I'm not sure what the food supplies are going to look like. You have some basic furniture, mostly chairs, some beds, a few washrooms on that side of the building. Very basic setup, but we're talking about emergencies, of course, and not five-star accommodation. This bunker is not the only one that needs some upgrades. The government has released an assessment. It said 20% of the shelters in Kyiv were not fit for service. Several shelters are occupied by stores, restaurants, and salons. A couple of weeks ago, a lawmaker assessed a bomb shelter near her home. It turned out to be a strip club. Authorities in Kyiv are working overtime to close the gap. Last month, they began inspecting and upgrading all bomb shelters. Kyiv's mayor has declared that the city's subway system will be used as a bunker if needed. The government of Ukraine is leaving nothing to chance. Amid dire intelligence warnings that Kyiv could be captured within 48 to 72 hours of an attack, these bomb shelters will be the difference between life and death for the 2.8 million residents of Kyiv. With the WION team, this is Palki Sharma from the world's most tense capital.